Steve, in the third quarter, did you guys just kind of regain a little bit of your defensive mentality at halftime to hold them to 19 points, I think?
21, but you're right. I mean, I think we set the stage for that by holding them to 21 in the second. We talked about, being down, I think 10 at the half, how we couldn't waste any time. We had to get right to it and guard and control the ball and try to keep them out of our pain as much as possible. And we had obviously a tremendous third quarter that kind of made up for the first and gave us a chance to control the game a little bit down the stretch.
Two for you. Is there any update on Bruce and what happened to him?
I have no update. Just took a fall and is a little ginger.
And then James Johnson with the double-double for you guys. What did you see to him tonight?
I mean, just great competitiveness, playing for the team. Spirit was great. Obviously he can do some playmaking out there. He can attack the basket with his quickness and size, and he rebounded the ball for us. So huge effort from him and everyone pitched in. It was not an easy game for us. And, we had to find a way to make it happen with a lot of kind of non-shooting lineups the paint is crowded and it wasn't easy for James to get in there. So our guys, I thought, were great at finding solutions, continuing to play, driving the ball to the basket, getting stops when needed, and just figuring out different ways to get it done.
Coach, I know the repetition helps, but what are you seeing with the group that's out there on the floor when James is not out there? What kind of chemistry do you see building, and how do you see them finding ways to do what they need to do?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good for moments in the second, but tough in the fourth there to start the fourth. But that's also a group out there in the fourth that I don't believe has ever played together. A lot of guys that haven't been on the floor much and let alone together. So it takes time, but I thought they hung in there, fought in that fourth quarter stretch, and they definitely had the spirit that it took tonight to compete and keep us in it at times.
Hey, Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
James has attempted at least 11 free throws in 4 of the last 5 games. I'm just wondering if you've seen any shift in the way he's being officiated, or is it just a byproduct of him being more aggressive and getting to his spots?
I think both. I do think, though, that the referees are starting to figure out, what's still a foul, what's still a basketball foul, and what's a non-basketball play or whatever the mandate says. I think early it was difficult, for them to know where the line was. And now, he's such a difficult guy to cover with his size, speed, quickness, ability to shoot over anyone from 3 that, guys have to get too close to him. And then he's so strong that once he gets a slight angle on you or step on you, it's almost impossible not to foul him, because if it's either get out of the way or you're going to draw contact. So, that's what makes him brilliant, is his ability to penetrate, to take contact, and to, be able to dictate what happens when that contact happens.
James said something the other day about how this is a group that's kind of a broader question than just this game, but he said something the other day about how this is a group that's still figuring out who it is, what it can be great at. I'm curious, from your perspective, do you see that as something that this team is still sort of working through and figuring out? And how do you evaluate how you're progressing in that direction?
Yeah, I think it's very early for this group. It's 17 games. We've had multiple guys injured as well. So we have 10 new players. I think it takes time. A lot of guys with different backgrounds, different histories, different habits, trying to blend together. We started our training camp the first kind of week or 2 with Kyrie and kind of a clear continuity path from last year. And then, we had to change a lot of things. And so now we do have to explore how we can come together, find commonality, find ways to be efficient and effective offensively. I think the defense has come earlier for us than the offense, but the offense has got to be a project that we just stick with and have trust and faith and work at it together and evaluate it and constantly refine it. And hopefully it's a project that continues to show growth throughout the year.
What level of appreciation do you have for what you guys have been able to do to this point? As you mentioned, it is super early in the season to be first in the Eastern Conference with the adversity that you mentioned already. Is there a certain level of appreciation that you have for the way that you guys have?
Definitely. I feel proud of the guys, that they've dealt with some things so far this year and continued to work for us, to be where we are defensively, I think has been a tribute to their effort and engagement, willingness, and then offensively, to be patient, to try to work out how you fit into this group, not how this group fits around you. And I think that takes patience. It takes, time. And so for them to be, to have 12 wins at this stage of the season amidst all that stuff, I think is a credit to their professionalism and effort.
Brian Lewis.
Hey, Steve. Did you have any any tactical changes that you made, that 10-0 run to end the first half or early in the third? Were there any tactical changes that you made defensively? And how valuable, I guess, also is it to have LaMarcus to be able to throw the ball down into him when you don't have shooters out there and you can't space the floor and it's hard to drive?
Yeah, I mean, we did vary our defenses a little bit. We blitzed for a little while. We went switching everything and switching 1 through 4. So we had different looks, but really, I don't think it was the looks as much as it was our persistence. I thought we were a step slow in the first quarter, making some poor decisions defensively. And then we cleaned a lot of that up. So I thought that was a big part of our game, is that we got really competitive, got some spirit, and maybe the situation kind of, what I'm trying to say is you start the game with a totally new look that we're used to. And so sometimes it might take a minute before we kind of snap out of the, this is so new and different, and just start playing. Guys started to play and compete and got stops and got some momentum.